There is this verse that says that if we carry out our work in the right spirit and for the right cause, then we would be in total harmony. Our life would attain the maximum peace for the remainder of our existence. But there seems to be a small catch with that particular statement. Now, regardless of the nature of our work, whether we carry it for the utmost good in life, there always lie the possibility of emotional ups and downs in a human being's life. Now, this is something that is natural. This is not in our control at all. Because when we perform something, any action, there is an expectation for the amount of effort that we put. And if the result exceeds our expectation, then we have an emotional high. At the same time, if the result exceeds our expectation, then we have an emotional low. These two things are common in every person's life, regardless of the nature of our work. But in this video, I'm going to share exactly two stories to you on how we can cope up with such emotional highs and lows over the course of our life. The first story is about a common man like you and me, rather two common people like you and me who had a dream like all of us. And their dream was to climb the world's tallest mountain, Mount Everest. And when they started training for Mount Everest, mountain training is a very hard process. It is about they practice even for the most negative aspects of mountain training. They plan for the worst. If they have an avalanche or if they have a snowstorm, they plan for all worst possible outcomes while training, yet they hope for the best. It is a very stringent process and you have to put yourself through hell and back in order to complete the training. So these two individuals train and they eventually finish their training with the best possible mindset that they can go into climbing the mountain. Now, upon completion of the training, when they reach the base camp, the locals and the local priest over there actually say that this is not the right time for you to climb the mountain, as this time, as per numerology and as per the climatic conditions and a lot of other external factors, if you climb now, it is even dangerous to your life. So these two people thought about it for a second. And they came to a conclusion that we have been practicing and going through this process for over a year right now. So this time we know how to handle all sorts of negative situations that might arise on top of the mountain. Now you just think about what those two people were going through. These people, the locals, they were not just talking to them, but they were talking based on their sentiments. And as you know in life, if anyone tells us something through their sentiments, it has more emotional value to us. It is hard to say no when someone offers something to us sentimentally. Yet they were so strong as they trusted in their process. They believed in their capabilities and they had full confidence in their whole process of training. And eventually, keeping aside what the locals said, against the better judgment of the locals, they started the climb to the summit of the mountain. And those two people completed their journey and they placed their names in the history books. These two names are Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. They were the first two people to climb the Mount Everest. Now, if they had gotten off during the emotional down that they had with the locals, they would not be the people whom we call today. Now, this is how I connect my first story with the second story. That the belief that they had even when there was an emotional low. And for that, a perfect example in modern times would be someone like the British physicist named Stephen Hawking. Now, Stephen Hawking, at the ripe age of 21, was diagnosed with a severe illness known as ALS. Now, the doctors said that this illness is something very unique that we do not have proper medication for, and you would have temporary paralysis as of now, and slowly this disease will paralyze your entire body, and most importantly, your survival rate is pretty low. Think about how a person would feel if a doctor says that your survival rate is pretty low. especially for a guy at the age of 21. Now from there on, he did not defy all medical science and lived for 55 years after this. But he also contributed to the society with the help of his theories and physical studies. For that purpose alone, he deserves to be called Sir Stephen Hawking. It is not what he did, but the way on how he developed those theories and how he practiced his physical education is the reason why he is the most revered physicist in the world today. Now, if you take a look at both these stories, there is one thing common. Regardless of any external factors, as important as some of the local priests saying that you cannot do something, or even if an external disease enters you, there is always that belief and the process that they trust within themselves. That regardless of the situation, they completely believe in their capabilities to perform under any given situation. Now that is what even the Bhagavad Gita says. Your life will have emotional ups and downs. We have to go through that. That is the nature of life which we cannot control. But what you can control is your response to those emotional highs and lows. Regardless of the situation, if you are able to believe in our capabilities, have confidence in our skill sets, we would still be able to perform in the best way possible and yield the best results possible. And that is the theme of this very verse. Now for that, there is only one way on how we can start that process. And that is, we have to just free our mind and let our mind lead the way. And as always, thank you for watching. And that's a wrap for this episode.